you filthy swines! Get in here, sit down, behave yourself. I'm going to read some stuff. I've been playing games since, I think I must have been 3 or 4 when I played Miss Pac-Man. Then I had a Atari VCS for a period of time. Then I ended up having a Spectrum, and then I went on to a Master System, and then a Mega Drive, Genesis, and up and up and up, N64. Now I'm on my bloody Steam Deck, and I love it. So I'm obsessed with gaming. With this article on Vice, written by Denny Connolly, what happens to your body and brain during long gaming sessions? What actually happens to your heart and brain during a 6-hour gaming session? A deep dive into the impact of long gaming sessions. Session, gaming session, that's what we're talking about now. I've heard some legendary tales of people dying in Korea in these gaming cafes where people will be playing League of Legends for like 2 days straight, or World of Warcraft or whatever. I think my most protracted gaming sessions were probably in the 90s. I've been much more busy since then, but I do find my time to play. Anyway, let's read this. Gaming brings a ton of joy, connection, and emotion to the lives of many people. That said, gamers who tend to participate in marathon gaming sessions may be impacting their physical and mental state in more ways than they realize. I think our modern world is impacting us in all sorts of ways. I mean, what's the alternative to gaming for protracted periods? It could be watching TV for protracted periods. And at least with gaming, you have some stimulus, some requirement to solve puzzles, whereas more passive entertainment, just watching TV or movies, not necessarily so engaging, really, in my opinion. Playing video games in moderation tends to have a pretty minimal physical or mental toll on players, according to current research. That said, there are many gamers who are putting in much longer sessions that likely are having an impact on them. Defining a long gaming session feels a little subjective, since different types of gamers have different preferences and tolerances for extended sedentary periods. So you're calling it sedentary, so you're already coming at this from a derogatory sense. Would you say the same thing about people watching Netflix or commuting or any activity that requires sitting? I mean, if you have an office job, you're sitting, you could call that a sedentary period. So all of these things you could say are negative. Whereas with gaming, you are actively solving problems all the time. So mentally, you're very active, in my opinion. One research study from 2024 focused on the impact of playing video games for 3 or more hours in one continuous session. The study associated players who partake in those 3+ hour sessions with higher odds of negative physical symptoms. According to the study, the participants who engaged in longer gaming sessions over the course of a year reported eye fatigue, hand or wrist pain, and neck or back pain. You can get carpal tunnel if you're using a mouse all the time and aren't suitably supporting your wrist. And if your chair sucks, yes, all of that, all of the above. It's worth noting that the potential risk for hand, wrist, and thumb damage seem to be a possibility for gamers who use controllers, as well as PC gamers using a keyboard and mouse. The risks were similar in nature for gamers who participated in sessions greater than 6 hours long, but with significantly higher risks of wrist and hand pain. I don't know, I get kind of bored after about the 3rd hour, unless it's a really new game and I'm really into it. 6 hours is quite a session. A different study from 2022 focused exclusively on healthy males who participate in 18-hour sedentary video game sessions. 18-hour? You've hit the 4-hour mark, and it's starting to be, like, I'd quite like to go and do something else for a bit. This is much less common, but it does happen, and it appears to have a greater impact on the body. Yeah, no shiz. The participants suffered from a strong negative correlation was found between body mass index and total energy intake. What do you mean by that? Body mass index and total energy? They're eating lots and not doing much, yes. A strong negative correlation was found in waist circumference and total energy intake. Okay, they don't do much and they're getting fat around their midriff. No nightly dip in blood pressure or heart rate was observed, because they're all stressed out playing Call of Duty or something. Based on this study, long-term adverse effects of gaming cannot be ruled out. The non-dip of HR and BP suggests that long gaming sessions could be detrimental to cardiovascular health long-term. Yeah, so could sitting at an office desk in your comfy chair for 8 hours doing whatever admin you've been tasked with doing. But I imagine the gaming is much more engaging than writing HR emails or whatever it is you do. Part of the cardiovascular impact and risk seems to come from the fact that gaming triggers fight or flight responses. Despite the lack of physical activity, increases in heart rate indicate that extended sessions have a meaningful impact on the sympathetic nervous system. A Griffith University study explains that during these sessions, the body prepares for physical action, releasing glucose and adrenaline that never happens, leading to internal stress. Okay, so the body is expecting more than the mind is generating anxiety for. Although the body isn't doing a physical workout during an extended gaming session, the brain is still putting in a ton of work. The Harvard Health research explains that gaming specifically targets the brain's reward center. Dopamine makes the brain happy, and naturally, gamers will want more of it when they feel another hit is right around the corner. This is why 5 more minutes or 1 more round can often transform into 1 more hour without realizing the time has flown by. If it's a really good game and it's new and you're in the groove, then yeah, an hour or 2 can evaporate. Although, to be honest, it's been a while since I've had a game that's done that to me. Probably GTA 5, Resident Evil 7, maybe, where you lose time. No Man's Sky. I'm just going to name games now. Games that I've played for long periods of time. Fallout 4, maybe? Although some psychologists might warn against addictive risks with this kind of dopamine loop, the Harvard research instead focuses on the loops associated with cognitive fatigue. These types of extended gaming sessions are giving your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain used for decision making, a crazy workout. Now, to mitigate the risks, gamers who tend to favor long sessions can help avoid some of the damage by being aware of the risk and taking steps to safeguard their health. It's recommended that players look away from the screen at least once every 20 minutes and focus on something that is at least 20 feet away. The short break should last for at least half a minute if possible. This gives the eyes a break and offers the body a chance to lower cortisol levels and sort of reset. Well, similarly, for people who are working on computers, when it comes to straining their eyes, and that's good advice. When it comes to wrist, neck, and back risks, players can proactively avoid some of these problems with some ergonomic strategies. Focusing on proper wrist support, especially for PC gamers, and posture can help limit some of the long-term effects of extended gaming sessions. As mentioned at the top of the article, moderation is key when it comes to avoiding bad habits and trying to limit some of the short and long-term potential side effects of long gaming sessions. Gamers who have any concerns about their health and the impact of gaming is having on it should definitely consult their doctor for personalized advice and recommendations. What's this? Griffith University. Extended hours of video gameplay and negative physical symptoms and pain. Oh no. Published a couple of years ago. Interesting though. Table 1, simple characteristics. What are we doing here? Age. Is this the quantity of each group that you sampled? We found 151 people over the age of 65 who play games. That seems quite rare. The psychological and cardiologic effects of long-term video gaming sessions in adult males. Because there are distinct differences between male gamers and female gamers. There's very different genres that they tend to gravitate towards. It's interesting that the Wii required a lot more physical activity, but that kind of gaming hasn't really continued. People don't seem to be playing motion-based games like they used to. I know there are VR games out there. The Meta Quest is a good example, and there's some stuff you can do on Steam and such, and there's PlayStation VR too. So VR is still percolating away in the background, which requires more physical activity. A lot of these games really don't. So maybe there is a schism between the perceived physical activity versus actual physical activity. That might be affecting your metabolism, I suppose. I've always thought that gaming is much healthier for you than just watching TV. And sometimes even you could argue it's more healthy for you than reading a book, depending upon the game, of course, because a lot of these games are very heavy in problem solving, and it's going to get your grey matter going. Perhaps it's because I'm old. Maybe there are younger people who play for like 16 hours or whatever, but I just don't think that's as common as these people are saying. How long do you actually play before you go, do you know what, I need to go take a leak, or I fancy some pizza slices or whatever? Not 16 hours, I would imagine. You're probably going to have a break. But anyway, that's that. But that is it for now. Make sure you hit that like button. And the only thing I have left to say is Pigwig out.
Oink, oinkity, snort. Snuffle, snuffle, squeak, oink, oink, wee, squeal, snort, snort, oink, kitty, squeak. Oink, 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 squeak, squeak, wee, 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 snuffle, snort, squeal, squeal, oinky, oink, snort, snort, squeak, oink, 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 wee, 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 oh. Snort, snuffle, oink, squeak, squeal, wee, snort, oinky, oinkity, oink, oink, snuffle, wee, squeak, snort, oink, squeal. Oink, 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 squeak, squeak, wee, 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 snuffle, snort, squeal, squeal, oinky, oink, snort, snort, squeak, oink, 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 wee, 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 oh. Oink, oinkity, snort, snuffle, snuffle, squeak, oinkity, oink, oink, snuffle, wee, squeak, snort, oink, squeal. Oink, 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 squeak, squeak, wee, 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 snuffle, snort, squeal, squeal, oinky, oink, snort, snort, squeak, oink, 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 wee, 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 oh. Squeal, squeal. Snort, snuffle, oink, re-squeal, re-snort, oinky, oinkity, oink, 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 snuffle, re-squeal, snort, oink, squeal, oink, oink, oinkity, squeal, squeal, re-re-re, snuffle, snort, squeal, squeal, oinky, oink, snort, snort, squeal, oink, oink, oink.